Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, your big dog, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, all-pro record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback to intercept 50 interceptions during the 16-game season era. Yeah. And I'm also the two-time leading interception in the NFL as well. Man, so many things you can say about your boy, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about what's going on out here in the world. Oh, man, KD is going crazy. Trolling? Allegedly? Do we know if it's KD or is it really KD, man? But there's some evidence. There's some evidence to give us some truth. You know, to lean towards KD, because this is typical KD's type of way of styling and moving around, you know, being an NBA top tier player, you know, with over almost 20 million followers on Twitter. So anything he says, man, you know, it catches a lot of attention. So you want to watch what he says. Let me bring on my co-host for tonight. We going over a lot of things, man. We're getting started tonight, man. We have to talk.
Let's go.
To it, man. We're going to talk about KD and his tweets and his mindset of as being an NBA player, man, and what he thinking, his competition, man. He's a competitor, man. If you like to troll and you're a sports figure and you played in the NBA or professional sports, man, that's just a sign of competition in my eyes, unless you show some sign of jealousy or envy and things like that. We have to talk about Shedeur, man. It's Shedeur update. What is going on in Cleveland? How they plan on using Shedeur Sanders? Is he the future? Do they expect him to be the quarterback, QB1? Heading into the future? We got to talk about Travis Hunter, man. Travis Hunter, and what's going on with him as well. And we have to talk about who else we have to talk about the NFL in some serious legal troubles. They're in a battle with a coach that is currently a coach. He's not a head coach. And he wants to be a head coach, but they trying to stop the brother from being a head coach, man. So KD, man, what do we think about KD out there in the chat? How we doing out there in the chat, man? Out there in the audience, man. I see you, young T2682, man. How y'all doing out there? Let's go, champ. That's right. Let's go, champ.
Let's go.
That's my boy Shannon Briggs, man. Xbox, man. He made that famous. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. So, man.
What KD up to, man? What KD up to right now?
These Kevin Durant alleged tweets. They had me rolling, man. When people started exposing these tweets, I had to do a little investigation because I don't follow basketball that much, man. But you know, I do a little bit, man. And bro did have to admit that he has a burner account, and because I don't know if he got caught, but he did admit that he has a burner account. And he doesn't want to get caught up in the drama. So he hides behind his burner account and talk his trash and say what needs to be said on a burner account. You know, we like to say it on Say What Needs to Be Said. KD, Mr. Kevin Durant, brother, come on, say what needs to be said, man. I'll make sure you say what needs to be said the way it needs to be said. And hey, and I'll take all the pressure coming your way, you know.
he ain't doing that till he retire. When he's still in the NBA, he's still gonna keep it under his burner account. Once he can retire, I think he ain't gonna.
He seems like a laid back, you know, doesn't like too much of a attention type of player, you know. All I want is money. Forget the fame. I'm a simple man type of player. You know how I started off, but forget all that craziness, man. That was back in the days. We want to be out here in the light, getting the money and whatever else come along with it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, KD likes to talk trash, man. And he just doesn't want to go back and forth. But here is KD, man, at the alleged burner account. He says, coach called that play to pass to Alpia, laugh out loud. I'm going to turn the ball over. This shitty ass team. I don't give a F. Your franchise player can't shoot or defend. That's a way bigger issue than my turnovers. Remember, these guys are the future. I really got to laugh to stop from crying, KD says, allegedly. I really got to laugh to stop from crying. Whatever he's talking about, watching his team play or his former team play, say, I swear I miss big Ben Simmons. At least this ninja would give me the ball. Who is he talking to, man? We don't know who he's talking to and what's the name of his alleged account, man. He's like, who in the world in their right mind in the NBA miss Ben Simmons. I know Ben Simmons. He had a lot going on in Philly. You know, they accused him. He couldn't really shoot jumpers, and he went through a lot. But I don't know if this is KD trolling or being truthful, man. Whatever it is, let me get a little closer here. It says all this because it started at the top. It says life without Devin Booker and Vogel. All this because Book returned. 2 dictators, Satan and Hitler, Masanlia and Kim Jong-un. These Suns are the Suns are my team when we lose and Books when we win. I can't trust Jabari to make a freaking shot or get a shot or get a stop. I can't trust Jabari to make a freaking shot or get a stop. Just don't give me a tech free throw, to be honest. He's low-key retarded. Man. KD, shout out, man. KD is shout out. But let's check out KD admitting back in the day, I think this was about 2020, he was on the Pivot podcast, and he was confronted and asked about him allegedly being a troll because no one knew officially that he was a troll. We just expected it. A lot of people expected that he was a troll, but there was no official evidence. And I think this was a perfect time for KD to sit back and come up with the best lie that he can have possibly came up with so he can sit back and troll in peace. But he gave it up. Let's check him out.
What about the burner? The burner accounts. Did you have the little button switching back and forth?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Why?
Because I wanted to be stealth. I didn't want nobody to know that was me. I mean, that's really why you get a burner account.
I can see you cussing him out. I can see you cussing out, what's his name, Windhorse, all them, Sham Sharania. Why are you so worried about what the man living in his mama's basement say about you?
I mean, he need to know too. Like seriously, if you're questioning what I'm doing, then shit, why not get it from the source if you're that interested? So yeah, sometimes it's a millions and millions of people that I probably overlook.
Yeah.
But when I respond to 2 or 3 people, it's like, how you talking to everybody? I'm like, you're exaggerating now. I'm talking to everybody. I might talk to 1 or 2 people here and there. I might give them a quick 30 seconds and then I'm moving on about my day. But like I said, when you look at the big picture, I really believe that these people that I might be shitting on sometimes, they enjoy these interactions.
100%.
That might push them to go buy some more NBA.
That's the key to trolling, man. You got to make them enjoy these interactions. You got to say something to them that they didn't expect you to say. You got to come out of nowhere, just blasting on them, you know? And then they like, okay. Then they respect you. You know, they bow down a little bit. Some trolls, they want to go toe-to-toe with you, and they can, you know, some trolls can battle. But, you know, when somebody's coming for you, you have the advantage because they already said what they had to say. But let's continue to check
tickets or buy the league pass or want to subscribe more to our game. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if we all were a little bit more authentic with these responses, all of our games will grow. And I'm starting to see more and more players now. You've seen Russell Wilson. Every time I see a guy come out and just say something like that, I'm like, I inspired that just a little. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need.
We're going to stop it right there. So Katie taking the credit for inspiring these quiet individuals to step up and say something, I guess. I like to take a lot of credit myself. I think I inspired a lot of people, the media space in itself, to speak up and say what needs to be said because, you know, I was the first one to come out and talk about Belichick without Brady. No one wanted to really blast that. You know, I challenged Coach Prime in his situation. I challenged the Hall of Fame. Man, hey, you know, it is what it is, man. So, hey, say what you feel, man. Speak your truth out here in this sports world.
Yeah, I remember when that situation first popped up when he left OKC and he like tweeted out that KD can't win with those guys, but he forgot to switch back to his burner account and he tweeted out from his regular account, and that's when it first came out. Like he did that by mistake. Like he thought he was on his burner account, and then he had to admit to it.
KD isn't the type to lie, but he was supposed to lie. Or the Steve Channing Crowder when he asked KD about his burner account in that clip right there, man. He was supposed to keep that a secret until he was done with it in the NBA, at least, you know. Then no one could have really verified that it was him, you know what I mean? But he had to admit it. You know. But anytime we or fans see him on his phone now, they're gonna automatically assume he's trolling someone. He's on that burner account going after someone. Usually it's about his him still being a top tier player or how elite he is, if he's better than LeBron, or should he be in top 5 conversations of all time best and things like that. But instead of him coming out and, you know, going and entering into a debate, he likes to say what he want to say and move on, you know. But at the end of the day, too, man, I think it's hard to try to compare the new generation, you know, even though LeBron James, Kevin Durant aren't really the new generation. But when I say new generation, I'm meaning comparing them to Michael Jordan and that era, you know. But it's kind of hard to say that the Michael Jordans and the Magic Johnsons, Allen Iversons wouldn't troll on X same way that Kevin Durant is doing if it was discovered. Social media was discovered back then. So I don't know, man. This doesn't affect who they are as players. It doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't take anything away from them being Hall of Fame caliber type players or anything like that, man. It's just fun to me. If you want to say what you want to say, hey, however you need to say it, get it out. But understand that when you have 19 million plus followers on Twitter like Kevin Durant, those messages, those tweets are going to garner a lot of attention. Just like AB, Antonio Brown. Anything Antonio Brown says, they try to pick it up and get some attention, the bloggers and things like that, man. So
And then you got all those people looking at it. You got a perspective from every single person. They think it means something different. So you got 1,000 different perspectives of that one sentence. You could say tomorrow gonna be sunny. You got 200,000 people thinking he's saying something different, like sunny. Oh, he wants to go to Arizona. Oh, he wants this. Oh, like that's everybody's perspective. They put on a simple tweet too.
you see, KD said and man, I like to sometimes and give them what they want, say what needs to be said, or say what I need to say and move on. So that right there tells me KD was the type in school, man. He gonna swing on somebody and get missing real quick. He gonna sneak it and then just keep moving. Like, whatever, man. I don't even know. If you want to do something, I ain't finna even tell you that I hit you. That's what that reminds me of. Like jabbing and keeping it moving. I'm gonna take my little jab at you, and then I'm gonna ignore you. I'm gonna let you feel it and sit in your misery of what I just said and however it made you feel, and you don't have a chance to respond back. But that's the KD flavor, baby. That's the KD flavor. KD flavor. But yeah, man. Next up, man, we have the Mr. Travis Hunter himself. We got Travis Hunter, man, entering in his 2nd season, and reaction to the NFL star change is how he will be used. Reaction to young NFL's star change and how he will be used looks kind of bad. This is what this article is talking about. And it's concerning Travis Hunter's future, man. So at the end of the day, I think the Travis Hunter experiment has finally came to a conclusion, right? And it's the best conclusion in my opinion. And Travis Hunter will be a full-time cornerback and have a chance to master the position finally. Of course, they're still putting out reports saying he will be used on both sides of the football. But this is a clear inclination that he is going to be used as a cornerback. They don't want to hurt his feelings. Like I said, telling this young man that he doesn't play wide receiver anymore hurts his feeling more than anything. It may mentally affect his game if he was told that he still couldn't play receiver, you know? If he continued to split both sides of the ball, of the football, I don't think his production would have matched the expectations of Travis Hunter being a number 2 overall draft pick. Not to mention, you know, Jaguars giving up 2 first-round picks plus a 2nd rounder and a 4th rounder just for him meeting the expectations, being the number 2 overall pick. That's a lot of expectations, you know? And but at the end of the day, being a cornerback, a wide receiver, a two-way player, That is a lot to give up for any position besides a quarterback. 2 first rounders, a second rounder, and a fourth rounder.
And not
That
even sure
player
what to
needs
do
to
with
be
them.
making an impact immediately on your team.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. It says, and this is from an insider with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or he has some inside clues or some inside context about what's going on for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it says, from what I understand, they plan to play him as a full-time cornerback and a part-time wide receiver, which is a switch from last year when he played more than double of his snaps at wide receiver than cornerback, Wolf said. Wolf pointed to the upcoming offseason and an important decision that affected the plan for Hunter to spend more time on defense. They think Travis Hunter can be elite at cornerback and still can be an impact player on offense, Wolf said. They also have Monteric Brown and Greg Newsome II, cornerbacks who are about to be free agents. So they're expected to let at least one of those cornerbacks walk in free agency so Travis Hunter can have the starting spot. Sounds like it's more forced than given. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's more forced than anything. And obviously, with Greg Newsome II and Monteric Brown hitting free agency, there's going to be a need to fill these positions. Monteric Brown, he came up and stepped up and surprised everyone that watches the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was playing pretty good football at cornerback, and that wasn't expected. He was able to replace Travis Hunter and pick up the slack for Travis Hunter not being there after he entered, after Travis Hunter went on IR. And I know there's some people that would disagree and think that Travis Hunter could be an elite receiver, or thinks he could be a more productive at wide receiver. I disagree. Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, right? I think he would have some success playing wide receiver, but I don't see him becoming an all-pro caliber type of wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think what helped with this decision as well is when Travis Hunter went on IR and is out for the rest of the season, the offense started clicking. They start moving the ball up and down the field. Trevor Lawrence started looking better. So he's thinking like, we can just focus on, we losing 2 corners. Well, at least we got to make a decision on 2 corners, and we already got him right here. So lock him in at one corner and make a decision on another. Then you take care of the defense side of the ball, and the offense is moving like great, honestly, once Travis Hunter got it. So that helps with that decision of like, we're just going to put him over here for now and work him in on the offense.
Because there was a lot of expectations for Travis Hunter. So that really causes confusion within your game plan or the offensive coordinator, what he really wants to call, because you have to get the ball to Travis Hunter. You have to make sure he meets the expectations. And when he wasn't really having that impact that they needed for him to have at wide receiver, things started to change, you know? And then you have Parker Washington. Parker Washington was the X factor in this whole scenario for him when he's a 6th round pick. I think he's in his 2nd or 3rd season, probably heading into his 4th season, right? But he came in and showed the Jacksonville Jaguars that he can play at a super high level. You know, he can do it all. He can play from on the inside. He can play on the outside. He can run the mid-range, mid routes, you know, and he can be tough as well. So automatically that gave them the comfortability that they have more than enough wide receivers in their stable. So they don't need to continue to try to force the issue with Travis Hunter being the wide receiver when they have plenty more wide receivers. Now, on the other hand, Brian Thomas Jr., you know, he had, I think, a league high 9 drops or so. You know, he had a ton of drops this season, along with some other wide receivers as well. But at the end of the day, this is the correct decision, and Travis Hunter is made for cornerback, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, ultimately, an offense can design plays and force the ball to a wide receiver, and it may look good on paper, kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion. CeeDee Lamb, I think he's one of those receivers where the football is forced to him. So on paper, it looks great, but it doesn't translate to winning. Now, George Pickens, he's a difference. He's a different type of receiver. He's a different maker. They have two different skill sets. And for Travis Hunter to become an elite wide receiver for Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, there are so many uphill battles ahead of him that he would have to overcome. And no, none of these wide receivers gained over 1,000 yards this season. They all was in the 700 and 600 range, from Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I know people believe that Travis Hunter can succeed on offense and, be that dynamic wide receiver, but he would need to have receiving yards over 1,500 yards or more to justify drafting him with the number 2 overall pick.
Right.
He is a dynamic player and he has tons of ability, but it's just too many variables for him, to reach the number 2 overall pick potential at wide receiver. And that's Trevor Lawrence in my opinion. But hey, I like what Trevor Lawrence did this year. Trevor Lawrence got better and better and better. But go ahead. What do you got?
I was gonna say, so you go like his cornerback play, it will make it worth all that to get that number 2 pick. You think so? If you just stay on the corner side, it'll make it worth it.
Like I said, number two pick for anyone to meet the expectations being number 2 pick is exceptionally hard, But don't get it twisted. At cornerback for Travis Hunter, the sky is the limit, with his instincts, ball skills, and his ability to transition in and out of breaks. He can become an all-pro cornerback in Jacksonville instantly, Just that Jacksonville needs him to have an immediate impact for the defense because of Greg Newsome and Monteric Brown set to hit free agency. So Travis Hunter, I like for him to show up big this season. You know why?
Why is that?
Does anyone knows about Jacksonville Jaguars defense? Do they remember? And now Jacksonville don't get that much coverage. They don't get a lot of attention and TV time and things like that. But the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, they played the run well.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville Jaguars defense was number 1 against the run. And when you're number 1 against the run, that forces the team to pass. I remember watching them play against the Houston Texans. Houston Texans could not run the football at all, and it forced them to pass. And when you force a team to pass, you understand that these are pass plays coming up, so you call your best defensive coverages against these pass plays. And all that means for a guy like Travis Hunter with great instincts, great ball skills, it's time to pick off some passes, baby. It's time for Travis Hunter to pick off the ball
and make them plays.
Yeah, he's going to make some plays because no one can run the ball on Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Now, that was last season. So they have to come in this season and, play just as well as they did last season, or else,
Should they put him back there at least? Should he at least go up back there?
I'm saying don't put the pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Make sure they continue to play good ball on defense, stop and run, because you start putting the pressure on Trevor Lawrence, things are going to get real shaky. Then the whole team, everyone get confused. They might start saying, put Travis Hunter back on the offense. He's a star wide receiver because Trevor Lawrence just is looking horrible. He needs some help.
You can't start putting the pressure on him like that. But do you think he should go back to punt return, at least put his hands on the ball some?
After he gets comfortable with one position first, right? He gets 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 games, whatever it takes for him to get comfortable at cornerback first. Then you can start moving him around, maybe put him at a couple of plays at wide receiver. Yes, you can let him return punts and things like that. But again, you want to make sure he stays healthy as well. Him playing both sides of the football could good as well.
Played a part to the injury.
Yeah, played a part to his injury, or too much wear and tear, caused the injury to to happen. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with Travis Hunter. But actually, too, you know, what happens with these two-way players like Travis Hunter, I think there were issues with Jacksonville trying to figure out on both sides of the ball when and where to play him. You know, that's hard to figure out if you're the defensive coordinator and you're offensive coordinator and you have this stud of a talent and you're the offensive coordinator and you have these designed plays for him. You want him ready to go at all times because you ready to draw this play up that you have designed for him because he's such a dynamic player. And then as well, the defensive coordinator is looking like, all right, offense is about to go 3 and out. All right, I need you. We're about to go man to man. I need you to cover X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So Jacksonville just wasn't ready to handle Travis Hunter the way they said they was going to handle Travis Hunter. Jacksonville promised their fans Travis Hunter would be a full-time wide receiver and a full-time cornerback. They tried their best to meet the expectations of what they had for Travis Hunter, and it didn't work out.
And that's why you seen a whole different Jacksonville Jaguars team after he got hurt. It was less confusion, less worried about where to put him and when to put him. It just it was more smooth game plan. It turned out to be a whole different team. And it's because of that, what you said, that confusion.
That confusion, being the number 2 pick, the expectations of Travis Hunter, they were making him the priority before, you know, let's say winning the game, because we have to make sure that he does good. We want to win the game along with making sure Travis Hunter is the reason why we win the game. But when they decided to, you know, put him on IR or the injury took place or they took a step back from putting all the pressure on Travis Hunter, then you seen, you know, Jacksonville Jaguars prosper, you know. But the pressure is on for Jacksonville to prove that Travis Hunter was worth at least being number 2 overall pick. And if not, that was a bad gamble. It was a bad gamble. They could have just waited at the number 5 pick, and I'm sure Travis Hunter would still have been available. But they wanted to gamble because of the hype and let all that stuff get to him. And now they have to make this gamble pay off, right? But it's not just Travis Hunter headed into his second season that is one of the high caliber top draft picks of the 2025 season. There's a lot of draft picks that need to show that they are ready for the NFL heading into their second season, like Ashton Genty. You got Will Campbell, who we've seen get embarrassed in the Super Bowl for the New England Patriots. You got Abdul Carter. You got Cam Ward, you know, with the Tennessee Titans. Hopefully his new coach in the new system helps him out. And also you have Shedeur Sanders. So there's a lot of people, not just Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter was just in a unique situation because they was expecting to play Travis Hunter full-time at cornerback and at wide receiver. And we all knew that wasn't going to happen, you know. So it's all good. It's all good, man. Yeah, man.
Don't forget about Jackson Dart up in New York. You know, there was Dable guy, and now he not there. You got John Harbaugh, so you don't know what they're going to like. If that's going to be the quarterback of the future for New York Giants, or so there's a lot of questions,
man. I've said it, and I've seen people trying to jump on the bandwagon, and I said quarterback development is really bad these days, you know, and we're seeing it in the NFL. We're seeing it from it starts from high school. We don't see the fundamentals we used to see from the college quarterbacks. And then when these college quarterbacks enter into the NFL, everyone wants to be the Patrick Mahomes. They want now the Caleb Williams, and they're missing the fundamentals. You have to start with the fundamentals, then you can become these creative, create plays type of quarterbacks, you know. So quarterback development is down bad, baby. It's down bad, you know. But we're moving on, man. We got next up, man. We have Shedeur Sanders, man. What is going on with Shedeur Sanders? What are the expectations for Shedeur Sanders? Todd Monken is the new head coach. What do we expect? Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, set to compete for the starting quarterback job, as we expected. But maybe they're not really going to compete because it wouldn't make no sense for Deshaun Watson to start, but anything is possible, you know. And this is, like I said, this is Shedeur Sanders' second season. No more rookie season. That rookie messes out the window. No more rookie excuses. So Shedeur will be under heavy pressure to prove he is a starting caliber quarterback for NFL team, the Cleveland Browns. And now, new head coach Todd Monken. No more Stefanski. None of that Stefanski mess. Now he's going to have his chance to prove himself. You know, typically speaking, we would say this is a make or break season for a guy like Shedeur being a 5th round pick, you know, to prove that he is worthy of this job. And yeah, he's going to have to show, because it can't possibly be a make or break season unless the Cleveland Browns, Todd Monken, really want to, if they believe in him and believe in developing him in the future, for the future, you know. But I'm convinced, man. I'm convinced this was hard for any quarterback to play at a high level in Kevin Stefanski's offense. There were so many even Deshaun Watson came over there and looked like a hot mess right after coming from the Houston Texans and looking awesome. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
the perfect example we saw what Joe Flacco did. Joe Flacco, a week later, he threw for 300 yards.
that was embarrassing. That looked awful, man. That was totally embarrassing to watch Joe Flacco go over there and light it up, almost throw for 400 yards, and he could barely pass for 200 yards in this Kevin Stefanski offense, man. You know, but the sad part about it for me was to watch Shedeur Sanders have to sit behind Dillon Gabriel, and everyone tried to push the narrative that Dillon Gabriel is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. You know, he may do some things, have done some things better, getting the ball out of his hand quicker, you know, making reads quicker and things like that, but he wasn't a better quarterback. That's what got me all uptight, because they was trying to push the narrative that Dillon Gabriel should start over Shedeur Sanders. And that was just terrible, you know. And
so Dillon Gabriel not in that competition?
Hard for anyone to recognize, huh?
Dang, they already kicked Dillon Gabriel out that competition. It's between Watson and Shedeur. He not in there?
There is no one to save Dillon Gabriel anymore. His savior, Kevin Stefanski, is gone.
He out of here, man. Damn,
along with Tua Tagovailoa and Dillon Gabriel are pretty much in the same situation, same circumstances, same situation. Both players have the same skill sets. Both players' arm are about the same strength, right? Mm-hmm. They both need to get the ball out of their hands very quick, and they both needed a coach or a general manager there to protect them. Both don't have that anymore, and now they have to prove or get someone to believe that they're NFL caliber quarterbacks to still stay around in the NFL. No more of that bull crap. And that's what I'm talking about that really made me so uptight watching Shedeur Sanders. It's like, really, are we really going to sit here and watch the professional football league, the NFL, put Dillon Gabriel, who we're watching, who we seen, and say that his skill set and his play is better than Shedeur Sanders?
You're still in shock.
I'm still in shock. Still in shock. You know what I mean? So at least we don't have to deal with that anymore. You know, that is done and over with. If he beats Shedeur Sanders if Dillon Gabriel somehow can beat Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders with Todd Monken as the new head coach, then hey, Dillon Gabriel deserves the job. 100%. Ain't no more. We ain't no more. We talking about Todd Monken or someone being biased, you know. Right. But yeah, for Shedeur to be elite in Cleveland, man, it was going to take a new offensive coordinator. You know, that freaking offense they was running was pretty much elementary. What I was watching in Kevin's defense.
I feel like the Browns still need a lot more. They need some receivers. They need some. They got that nice tight end. He took over when Njoku got hurt, but they need some more than just that new offensive coordinator, new coach, and all that. Man, they need a lot. I feel like they need a lot.
Yeah, man. The best thing that could have happened for Shedeur Sanders in his circumstances and his scenario, the new head coach for the Cleveland Browns, Todd Monken, becomes the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. The coach who wanted to draft him to Baltimore Ravens. That is the perfect scenario for the circumstances that Shedeur Sanders is in.
That's a fact.
There isn't a better coach, unless it would have been his dad, that the Cleveland Browns couldn't have picked. Now, was this a coincidence or was this done purposely? I think it was done purposely.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm like 90% sure it was done purposely.
That's he probably talked about that in his interview, man. I wanted this guy in Baltimore. I wanted him bad. Like, I can make it work. That part is a part of the whole interview process.
Like you said, Todd Monken showed interest in Shedeur. And maybe Cleveland Browns was the only team who wanted to make him the head coach. And if that is true, that's Jimmy Haslam making sure Shedeur Sanders get all the coaching, all the support he needed to be successful. Because Jimmy Haslam see the big picture. He's a businessman at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Another bright side for the Browns. They got defense, man. They got their defense already. So just worry about getting some solid wide receivers that can grow with Shedeur, man. They can make something happen.
Absolutely. So this is what they're saying in Cleveland. Cleveland, they have optimism for Shedeur Sanders there in Cleveland, especially with Todd Monken now, the head coach. They think there's a little bit more flexibility in the offense, and maybe that gives Shedeur Sanders the chance to use his playmaking more than he was under Kevin Stefanski, Wolf reports. You also have Deshaun Watson, who started throwing again with his quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, this week. They believe he will be involved in the competition he added. So the Browns could bolster their roster at wide receiver, O-line, and other spots and let these guys compete for the spot. So that is some pretty good news for Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, they don't look like they're trying to draft a quarterback this season. So that is a good sign moving forward. Like I said, when they signed Todd Monken and he walked into the facilities, I understood what this play was about. I said Shedeur Sanders can walk around the facilities in confidence now. He doesn't have to be on his toes or on the edge of his seat, whether worrying about doing something wrong. You know, that is the wrong mindset to come in as a professional athlete or in competition, worrying about making a mistake. You have to play and don't care about making a mistake. That's the type of confidence you have to have. And man, there's so many mind games that can go on and be playing in the back of your mind when you're dealing in a situation or you're in circumstances like Shedeur Sanders was in, you know?
Yeah.
But either way, I think this was intentional. It wasn't a coincidence. I think Jimmy Haslam is happy with Shedeur Sanders, and he is responsible for making sure Shedeur Sanders became a Cleveland Brown. It wasn't Kevin Stefanski. It wasn't Andrew Berry. We seen those two guys wasn't too happy after his name was called and he was drafted. It didn't make no sense for them to draft Shedeur Sanders because they had all those quarterbacks on the roster and they had just drafted Dylan Gabriel. Jimmy Haslam is responsible for making this play, and Jimmy Haslam is responsible for making Todd Monken the head coach. No other team was reportedly too interested in making Todd Monken the head coach for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best setup for Shedeur Sanders, baby.
Man, I still think Deshaun Watson gonna have the upper hand, even though they say it's gonna be a competition and everything. But I think that Deshaun Watson always gonna get the first reps until Shedeur beat him up, because that money they got sitting on the bench, man, he been sitting on the bench for all these years. They gave him all that guaranteed money, so I feel like he's still gonna have a little bit of edge. It might be 55 to 45, but he gonna have a slightly edge because coming out.
The Cleveland Browns can't wait for June 1st, 2027 to get rid of all of that headache they dealt with Deshaun Watson. That is the day they plan to release him, when they have everything structured correctly in his contract and they don't have to worry about taking so much of a hit. If they keep him beyond June 1st, 2027, I think they're going to be on the hook for hundreds of millions or more dollars. So Deshaun Watson is on his way out. And for Deshaun Watson to maintain that quarterback one job or to win the job over Shedeur Sanders, he would have to be extremely convincing after all he has put the Cleveland Browns to. I mean, it would have to mean Deshaun Watson is so convincing that it looks like the Cleveland Browns are headed to the AFC Championship or something. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It has to be so convincing because there is no future with Deshaun Watson. This is it. They took all they could possibly take. There is only one reason he's on that roster because of a screwed up contract.
Exactly. And you see, I mean, you hate to see it, but you seen when the fans, when he got hurt again, the fans started cheering like we don't got to worry about him no more. So I feel like he come out day one being a starter, he gonna get booed. Like they gonna be upset.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad, man. Yeah, it's a unique situation. And then for him to get hurt after going through all of those lawsuits and the guaranteed money issues, and then him, tear his ACL, it's just like bad luck after bad luck just kept piling up and kept piling up. But, watching Deshaun Watson now, he looked like he's in a good mindset. He's ready to compete. He's ready to continue to push forward. But I seen him throwing up the Shedeur too, man. I don't know what that means. The influence, Shedeur influence is crazy, man. So, but shout out to Deshaun Watson, man. I was always a Deshaun Watson fan, and he's a great quarterback. I just got caught up in the Kevin Stefanski situation, man. So, but got next, man. Coming up, man. The NFL, man, is in some serious heat, man. They are in some heat. When I say heat, this is the heat that you don't hear about. This is behind the scenes type of heat that NFL owners, whoever started this business, they made sure that the legal language and all the paperwork would be positioned where they have the upper hand in all of these situations. So let's get into it. We got Brian Flores, racial discrimination lawsuit versus the NFL. Can go to trial. Y'all hear that? Keyword, can go to trial. U.S. District Court rules. The NFL, man, has been getting away with favorable rulings during disputes between guys like myself, employees of the NFL, and the NFL just been getting away with this for like 30 plus years. However long the NFL been around. You know?
I thought that was settled already. That's still not settled?
That would be the NFL best bet. But for some reason, unless Brian Flores is asking for a blank check, they are not settling, and it is going to turn around and bite the NFL in the butt. But like we're talking about, the U.S. District Court said this case can go to trial, and what they mean is it's not going to arbitration. And that's when we have complaints. That's what we have to deal with. We have to go through a arbitration process that is set up by the NFL. And I myself have been a victim of going before arbitrator in the past because of a ridiculous claim brought against myself. And when I tell you the process was never a fair and proper hearing, it was bad, man. It was bad. I wasn't able to submit my evidence, and the arbitrator, who was acting as the judge, wasn't concerned with hearing any of the facts of the case. He was trying to make me settle the case before I even walked into the hearing. He looked me in my eye. I didn't understand. He was just like, man, just settle it. You don't want to argue about this. He was kind of telling me that he was going to rule against me. Like, it was so weird. The process didn't even feel real, man. It didn't feel like a real situation until I got hit with a real judgment. Yep, I was hit with a judgment.
Man, it's hard to go against $1 billion company, man. It's like, and it's just hard.
It's hard, man. It's very hard, man. But now, who feels sorry for $1 billion companies? When you're in a jury, when you're a juror, you have to rule against $1 billion company. Does anybody out there in the chat feel sorry for the NFL if you're a juror and you're in a lawsuit that an employee is claiming something? you know, and they want some money.
Mm-hmm.
Cut the check, stroke the check. And this discrimination lawsuit, man, the NFL dealing with, it's against Brian Flores, who is a black man. If anybody doesn't know, Brian Flores is currently the defensive coordinator. Where's he at now? He was with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm not sure where he's at right now, but he should have a head coaching job. He should have been hired during this head coaching cycle, but he wasn't. So no black coaches was hired in this coaching cycle. Why? Doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense. You're in a discrimination lawsuit because of a African American man is complaining about discrimination, and you didn't hire one to try to help your case out. Make it make sense. Maybe they know more than I know. Maybe it would have made them seem guilty. I don't know. But I would have thought that hiring him would help you out in discovery or something. I'm no legal expert. I'm not here giving no legal opinions. I'm just telling y'all what sounds like common sense to myself, you know.
Yeah, I kind of just had this conversation with Leroy. I was talking about the Eagles. I was like, man, the Eagles should have kept CP at moved him up to defense coordinator and let Vic Fangio walk, because Vic Fangio was thinking about retirement. He's like, but he'll probably leave next year to be a head coach. I was like, nah, he ain't gonna leave that fast because the color of his skin, like he ain't gonna get that chance as fast as somebody else.
The difference between brothers and white coaches, man, we have to maneuver differently. We have to represent ourselves differently. We just have to, you know, get in where we fit in, basically, because it's always going to be a thing. It's always going to be a black and white thing, and these people in power and in position of power don't want to see us African men in power like they are. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to always be a fight for that. But the NFL is looking crazy, man. Not hiring a black coach while you're in a discrimination lawsuit just looks bad in my eyes. You know, if I was the judge and the jury, it'd be bad. You know, yeah. Like
honestly,
I said,
going against these $1 billion companies too, man, they rather pay that amount of money you asking for to not pay you that money than actually give it to you. Like, I'd rather, if you ask for $20 million, I'll pay $20 million not to pay you.
It's like you're gonna give it to the lawyers. You need to give it to someone. But
yeah, they rather do that shit.
You have to set a standard and set an example that you're not going to just fold for any claim brought against you. You're going to fight to the end, so people don't just see you as a walking blank check and just think you can keep coming after you and getting checks. But in this situation, this is not no small time money. He's asking for a big check. You know what I mean? But like I said, the judge is letting this discrimination lawsuit move forward. And this is going to be very detrimental, and it's going to expose the NFL for how they handle business in the past. And let's get into it, man. So the class action lawsuit alleging racial discrimination against the NFL filed by former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores, later joined by former Arizona coach Steve Wilkins and longtime assistant Ray Horton, can be tried in open court. The U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York ruled on Friday. The ruling upheld previous decisions by the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan and U.S. District Court Judge Valerie Caproni that states Flores would be able to take his lawsuit to court rather than go through arbitration. That would have been seen or would have been overseen by the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell. The court's decision recognizes that the arbitration forum in which the defendant's own chief executive gets to decide the case would strip employees of their rights under the law. Flores attorney Douglas H. Wigder and David E. Galati, said in a statement, it is long overdue for the NFL to recognize this and finally provide a fair, neutral, and transparent forum for these issues to be addressed. Yes, goodness. It's about that time, and it's woo, I'm glad someone is taking this thing all the way to court and making the NFL make changes, man, because it's no way to fight for your rights, man, against the NFL when they have everything already cornered in, manipulated, stimulated. Everything, man. It's all set up, man. It's like you lost before you even walked in there. Only time we win in these cases is when we go to appeal court. And back then, this was happening to me so long ago. I wasn't familiar dealing with the court system. I didn't even know about the bill. I didn't even know a judgment had got entered into me until I was dealing with another issue. And then that lawyer said, yeah, you have a judgment against you, Asante. You need to take care of this. And it was like, I had to take care of it. I got ripped off, man. You know? But if anybody don't understand fully what arbitration is an alternative resolution for disagreements, you know, instead of the formal court system, going before a jury and a trial and things like that. So arbitration could just be you, the defendant, the plaintiff, whatever, and one judge, two judges, a lawyer, you know, but they're representing as the arbitrator, the one who makes the decision, basically, you know.
Right.
And in this case, it's the NFL against one of his employees. And the consequences for the NFL, if they don't settle this lawsuit and they end up losing, can make a big, ugly legal mess for future cases for NFL owners. A big legal mess. I'm talking about cases left and right, hiring lawyers left and right. It can get ugly and ugly and ugly. You know what I mean? But no more hired arbitrators, baby. That's what the U.S. District Court has ruled. No more arbitrators, baby. This is over with. Now, the NFL is smart. They know where to spend their money, and they're going to get back to this judge and make sure this judge backs off of how she's already ruled or the temper that she's bringing to this case, because these owners don't want that to happen. Trust me, man. You know what I mean? They don't want these cases to go before a jury. You know, and like I said, the average person out there in the audience or in the chat, if they are involved in a big case like this, I do not see anyone having sympathy for the NFL. Why? Yeah, maybe you will see if the case is an obvious case, or see if, you know, there is any merit to the claims that is being made. But ultimately, if it's not ridiculous, egregious, or just a frivolous lawsuit that happened to not get dismissed, everybody out there gonna say, cut the check. Everybody out there, cut the check, baby. And Brian Flores, this has to be $100 million case. $100 million plus easily. And if he goes to trial, $100 million plus interest, plus punitive damages, plus attorney fees, and whatever else they could think about, man. So, yeah, man, this is a serious case for the NFL. And they also are dealing with the John Gruden issue. I don't know if they've resolved that situation, but, man, it's going to get crazy, man. It's going to get crazy, man. How we doing out there, chat, man? It's Sunday Night Vibes, man. KD. We're going to get KD on the show. That's what we're going to do, man. We're going to get KD on the show for y'all. KD, man, I'm going to get KD to come on the show and open up, man. We seem like we got the same type of energy. You know, we might be the same breed. Like, I like to compare humans to dogs, you know. All of us have a breed out there. And I think me and KD might have the same breed. We ain't really too concerned what people say about us and how they feel about us. But we like to strike back at the end of the day, too. You know, that's just a part of our talking shit nature. You know what I mean? But anything else you got to say out there, brother Drees?
Man, just make sure y'all tune in there.
Anything in the chat?
Anything in the chat? Now, I was saying, if y'all in the chat, making sure y'all subscribe and make sure y'all tune in each and every week.
Oh, yeah, man. We forgot to remind y'all, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. But I would appreciate if y'all hype these videos up, man. Support the channel. Man, we got some big things coming ahead, man. And like I said, man, the grind don't stop. You know, I'm here to bring y'all the truth, that fun, and that entertainment at the same time. I've been through so many situations I can relate to probably all of situations that go on in the sports world, from contracts to baby mamas to courts to death to sickness to fights to, man, you name it, man. I've pretty much been through it in the NFL, in the sports world, in the streets, man. Just got a lot of wisdom, man.
From the horse's mouth, man. Got hair come from the horse's mouth.
You know, got to hear it from the horse's mouth, man. So we're going to see, man, if we jump back on here tomorrow, man. I'm trying to get the brother Richard Sherman on here. We're going to talk some ball skills. And, you know, he had called me before the Super Bowl, and we chopped it up, man. We had a good conversation, man. And we said we was going to come on here, man, talk about ball skills. And I want to, you know, I got some good questions about him and how he developed his ball skills. And I want to talk about my ball skills as well, man. So, man, it's Sunday Night Vibes. I'm your boy Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel.
That's your boy 2-3 Drees.
And we're going to see y'all next time, man. We are